Okay, we're going for a spin in an A30 Volvo D. Okay, so this is an articulated off-road rock truck. I'm not sure how clearly you're going to be able to see it in the camera or hear me either. So I'll just try it out. So the haul that we're on today, we're moving topsoil to the back of the stockpile. So I'm not sure how much you see in the camera, but if you think I'm turning a bit wide in that, I am on some of the corners. I'm splitting my tracks on anywhere I'm turning, especially, and anywhere that the ground is moving, it's punching out a bit. And by splitting your tracks, and when I say splitting your tracks, I mean your tyre marks come beside each other each time. This spot here is a little bit narrow, and I'll go to the very left hand side this time. And I know I'm right beside the wall because in the mirror you can see just a very small gap there. The reason I'm doing that is to keep the ground level, so I don't need a grader or a dozer running after me the whole time. One is we don't have a grader, and two is there's nobody on the dozer. So by doing this, I'm able to work away myself. I hate rock truck drivers. It's a pet peeve of mine that just travel on the one track the whole time, and it's surprising how many of them do it. Really surprising. Most of them do it. There's very few guys that will actually watch the ground and split their tracks and keep it level after them. I've seen some really good operators, and they'll just keep the ground level all day. They need very little maintenance after them. So that's one thing that we're doing. Another thing is we're coming up to dumping, and we're going to try and do that pretty efficiently. We're not going to waste any time. Unfortunately, there's no kind of loop we can do. We have to drive up here and we have to reverse in. There's no easier, shorter way around that. But we're going to try and make it more efficient by dumping quite quickly. So we come around here, you can see the dust there. Okay, we're going in reverse. I'm going to start reversing quite quickly. Get it up in a second. So it's in second reverse. And when we're lined up and we're close enough to the thing, I'm dumping already. I'm not sure if you can see that in the camera, but it's dumping up, flick it into a neutral, hit the revs. So by the time I get to the place that I'm actually dumping, my box is half, 3/4 way up, and then forward again. And I'm dumping the box the last 5 seconds. So the box, I'm just watching it gets down, don't let it hit. There we go, nice and smooth. Okay, so by doing that, we dumped very quickly. We didn't waste any time. But on the other side of that, you have to watch what you're doing. You have to be careful that you didn't drop any rocks out on the path the last time, and that the ground is actually level. There's no slope or holes in it. And the reason for that is you will turn over very easily when you're traveling and moving your box up like that. So it's for the more experienced operators. It's certainly a way of making yourself quicker in that. But you want to be an experienced operator to do it, to read the ground and do it that way. The other thing that we're doing here is we're setting a fairly steady pace through this site. The reason for that is there's people working. The ground isn't that level, alright, but we're rising dust too, so we can't go that much faster anyways. And it's surprising when you watch a fleet of rock trucks, when you watch a couple of them the same, you'd think that they would use the same diesel for the same day's work. Well, that isn't always the case, and the reason for that is the operators. You'll see a big difference in the operators, and you'll see differences in the fuel usage. The biggest determining factor that I see there is you'll have one operator that'll set a pretty steady pace like this. They'll be efficient in their dumping. They won't waste any time dumping, and they won't waste any time coming into the hole. And they just keep going steady all day. So they keep the load counts up. They keep it up as same as the rest of them. But you'll see some other operators there hit the accelerator hard the whole time. They're revving hard, then they're hitting the brakes. They're revving hard, then they're hitting the brakes. And that's no good. It's a waste of time. this is a pretty steady run. It's a pretty easy run here, so we're not actually using the engine retarder, or they're not using the engine brake or the transmission retarder, but both of them are turned off because there's no big slopes or anything coming down. We're just going around steady, and I'd say the most revs we hit is probably 15. You know, we're just pottering around here, and there's no rock truck that'll pass you out here because you're totally efficient coming into the hoe, and you're totally efficient dumping as well. So there's nobody going to pass you out. Those other guys that kind of hit the throttle the whole time, they're the guys that tend to go wrong and reverse in 2 and 3 times, and you know, they're hitting the accelerator the whole time. They're hitting the brakes. They're also doubling the wear and tear on the rock truck, which is no good either. So you run your rock truck like that, you'll see improvements in the diesel, the efficiency, and your general efficiency for the day too. You know. So there's a quick run the rock truck.